The Oregon Mass Timber Coalition is a game-changing partnership between Oregon's leading research universities and government agencies. Together, we will innovate to unlock the power of mass timber technology to address the three grand challenges facing our state: the housing crisis, forest health, and economic disparity.
The Oregon Mass Timber Coalition began in response to the Labor Day fires of September 2020. Lives were lost, many homes were lost, and the question was, can we quickly put homes back on the ground using mass timber, in the process improving forest health and reducing wildfire risk, and while doing so, creating resilient jobs in rural and urban locations?
The science is really telling us that we need to be taking a more active role in our forests. We've had a century of fire suppression. Past management practices have led to forests that are really out of sync, out of whack with the historic regime. And so we're really working to restore those forests so that if a wildfire does come, which it is inevitable, these forests can withstand that disturbance event and persist so that they can continue to deliver all the suite of values that we in society get from our forests: clean air, water, jobs, recreational opportunities, wildlife habitat, and so much more.
Restoration involves selective cutting, which means that we enter the forest and pick precisely the trees that we need to remove from the forest. But the question is how to do that, how to implement that restoration projects on the ground in a cost-effective way and also safer way for forestry workers, as well as we want to leave minimum environmental impacts. So that's where smart forestry comes in. What we're trying to do is to transform traditional labor-intensive jobs into high-tech jobs to attract young people, because restoration is to make our forest healthier, ecologically better, and it's our future.
There's really no region of Oregon that hasn't been impacted by a housing shortage that is really resulting in an affordability crisis in our state. One of the reasons that mass timber modular housing is a great solution to these problems is because it can be produced in a factory environment, which over the long term will really decrease the cost of production of housing.
Mass timber has benefits all along the supply chain. It can be sourced from small diameter logs that can be selectively harvested from forests to help reduce wildfire risk. It can be used to create mass timber panels, creating high-tech and well-paying manufacturing jobs in rural communities. And it can be prefabricated very easily. And once you assemble these units, they are more thermally resilient, more seismically resilient, and more fire resistant than lightwood frame.
We really want to make sure that communities across Oregon understand that prefabricated or modular housing, especially modular housing made from mass timber, is quality housing. And we're going to produce a model code that any city can use based on the lessons that we have learned, so that they can look into their own code, identify what those local impediments might be, introduce some revisions, and adopt an updated code that basically says our community is open for business when it comes to mass timber modular housing.
Mass timber has the potential to really reap both environmental and economic developments throughout the state of Oregon, and to provide affordable housing, factory-produced, year-round, at the Port of Portland's Terminal 2 site.
Terminal 2 is an active marine terminal that is ripe for redevelopment. It's close into downtown Portland. It has rail access, it has highway access, close into workforce. And we have this opportunity to create this really vibrant campus centered around research, development, and manufacturing of affordable mass timber housing. So it's really a win-win here, and we're hoping to showcase to the country what can be done and also show that Oregon is a leader in this category.
So the idea of this is to be a regional training cluster that has a hub in an urban setting which is great because when we think about having a housing manufacturing facility that allows you to do year-round construction development indoors, so safer conditions, this invites more opportunities for diverse workers who maybe not have seen themselves in these spaces and maybe didn't see the opportunities to be able to have career pathways in this area. And that's really our kind of intentional commitment. We're going to be connecting with industry, with the workforce partners at Work Systems Inc. and Portland Community College
to ensure we have a highly trained, diverse workforce to support the growth around this new, innovative material that is sustainable and that is going to help create quality homes across the state.
These projects that we've described are really aimed to act together in a synergistic way to create a kind of virtuous cycle and really tackle these grand challenges of the housing crisis, economic disparity, and reducing wildfire risk and improving forest health. The Oregon Mass Timber Coalition is really unique, a group of different entities working together, united by a shared vision for what Oregon could be.